Imagine yourself walking through a desert. You haven't had water in what feels like decades, and the hot sun is beating down on you like a cruel, persistent drum. The landscape seems to stretch on for miles, and with each step you take, you feel your body ache under the infinite heat. Listen to the sounds of the sand crunching under your feet, or the call of birds flying overhead. Can you hear them? Can you feel the heat? Can you see the desert? When creating a scenario like that, you have to choose just the right combination of elements to catch your audience's fickle attention. The goal of all creatives is to pull you into the world of their story, be it on paper or on the screen. One film that does this skillfully is Paris, Texas, a 1984 film created by director Wim Wenders and cinematographer Robbie Mueller. Through their masterful approach to mise-en-scène, viewers of this movie are immersed in the lives and experiences of its characters. But what exactly is mise-en-scène? Well, this French phrase, literally meaning placed in the scene, originates from the world of theater as an expression for setting, lighting, costumes, and other factors all present on the stage. Nowadays, it's a catch-all term for anything relating to staging in a film. According to Chapter 5, page 154 of our beloved textbook, mise-en-scène is everything we see in every shot, every object, every person, everything about their surroundings, and how each of these components is arranged, illuminated, and moved around. The majority of the things you see on screen have been meticulously planned by the director and/or cinematographer. Everything put into a shot or scene has a purpose, but each of these things does not necessarily have meaning in and of itself. The combination of elements within the frame and the context in which they are presented helps contribute to a shot or scene's meaning. Let's look at two scenes from Paris, Texas to see how the director utilized the elements of mise-en-scène to tell Travis's story. We'll start at the beginning of the film with its very first scene. It opens with an aerial establishing shot of the desert, eventually panning over to Travis wandering aimlessly through the seemingly never-ending landscape. This incredibly open framing gives a massive sense of space to this scene, highlighting the isolation Travis has grown accustomed to over the 4 years since his disappearance. Multiple locations in the film are empty, quiet spaces like stations, diners, and open highways. This quiet emptiness the cinematography captures is perfectly mirrored with the protagonist, who doesn't speak for most of the film's beginning. Interspersed through these shots of open framing are occasional close-ups of Travis that reveal to the viewers his disheveled appearance and closed-off, silent mannerisms. When our protagonist appears, he seems lost. He moves mechanically, wears an incongruous, dirty suit and tie, and is about to run out of water in the heat. Travis's facial expression is hard to interpret. There is a hint of uncertainty when he empties his water can, of melancholy and vulnerability when he eyes the reddish barrenness before moving on. The harsh browns and blues of the scene brightly contrast the bold red of Travis's hat and give the scene a surreal atmosphere, perhaps allowing the audience to peek into the fugue state of his mind. These vivid colors, alongside the open framing of the desert scene, draw the audience into the plot of the movie in the first few minutes alone. Now let's compare this scene to the home movie Travis watches after being reunited with his son Hunter. It showcases a typical summer holiday of two couples traveling together, along with a small boy. The couples in question are Travis and his former wife Jane, alongside his brother Walt and his wife Anne. As we watch the film, we hear the soft sounds of the projector mixed with a sweet, melancholy Mexican tune. By only including these two elements in the sound design, where the sound of voices and cars in the ocean could have been, strengthens the scene of this home movie being a memory of feelings past. As opposed to the vividness of the earlier scene, the colors are faded and warm with fuzzy contours. Alongside the flecks and stripes mimicking a projector screen, these elements combine to create a nostalgic atmosphere that connects readers to Travis's emotions as he watches this reminder of what his life used to be. The closed framing gives the scene a sense of intimacy. The audience is an active participant in watching the rose-tinted memories from Travis's past. When the film ends, we cut back to Travis watching the screen in the dark, a stark contrast to the brightly lit memories just shown on screen. The music fades away, leaving only the whirring of the projector as the film comes to a close. As described by Espen Ytterberg, professor of media studies at the University of Oslo, images of one's own past seem often to hover somewhere between recognition and alienation. They provide the potential to experience one's previous self as a stranger, but also to reconnect with who we once were. This scene reveals to Travis the person he used to be and drives him to reunite his family. It connects the dots for why Travis has been so silent and makes up for the unrelenting silence the first half of the film has. The key difference between this scene and the last is the framing. While the opening scene utilizes open framing to convey Travis's isolation, the home movie uses close, intimate framing to showcase Travis's strong connection to his family. There are other scenes from this movie that I could talk about that toy with proximity like this, such as the I knew these people scene or the ending, but I'm afraid I'm out of time. Many other films use this direct relationship between proximity of the camera and intimacy with the character, from Hollywood classics like Silence of the Lambs to Neil Breen's hidden gem, Fateful Findings. The next time you find yourself watching a film and empathizing with the characters on the screen, ask yourself what the director or cinematographer may have deliberately included to make you feel this way.